Tonight we're going to be talking about Scream 6, the most recent addition to the Scream franchise up until when Scream 7 comes out at the end of this month. We've got Scream 6. This came out in 2023. It's kind of hard to believe that this movie has been out for 3 years now. It doesn't feel like it was that long ago. I remember watching it not too long after it came out. I didn't see this one in theaters, but I did stream it shortly after I watched Scream 5. I think I watched these basically pretty close together, not necessarily back to back, but close enough together. And this takes place 1 year after the events of Scream 5. We get a lot of the new cast coming back. We've got Sam, Tara, the Chad and Mindy twins. You get Gail in this one. A noticeable character that's missing is Neve Campbell as Sydney. Sidney Prescott's not in Scream 6. Apparently, whoever was making the movie, Spyglass or whatever, I don't remember who the fuck's made this movie, but they didn't offer her enough money, and she felt kind of like it was a slap in the face to ask her to come back for this sequel as basically the main character of the entire franchise and not pay her enough fucking money. And I agree with this. I think that's probably the right call. And I don't, I'm always down to obviously have Sydney back in the Scream movies. I think that's pretty important with these movies. But at the same time, as far as this movie goes, I think it's all right to leave her out in this one. I think there was a lot going on here with the new characters already. I mean, obviously, I think if she would have been in it, they probably would have ended up changing like the whole plot around anyway to maybe focus back on her, or maybe she just shows up at the end kind of like she does in Scream 5 and whoops some fucking ass. Give me a hell yeah! Because, that's cool too. We can always have that in a Scream movie. So the first time I watched this movie, I'm going to say I didn't like it that much. It was definitely one of my least favorites, and honestly that's because it let me down so much. This goddamn movie just fucking completely let me down. Because you get this great setup. You get Sam and Tara. So it's 1 year later. They moved to New York. Tara's going to fucking school with her friends and shit like that. In New York City. They're in the goddamn city and stuff like that. So we're going to get Ghostface in the city, in New York City, which is a great setting for this. And really, I thought everything leading up to it was pretty good. I thought some of the kills were cool. We'll talk about the opening scenes here in just a second. But then what let me down was the ending. I feel like this one just has the worst ending out of any Scream movie. And I don't want to sit here and just shit on this movie. You know what I mean? Like, as much as I do kind of enjoy trashing movies I don't like and stuff like that, and just talking shit about movies in general, I don't want to just dog shit pile all over this goddamn movie, because it does have some good things going on with it before the end. The end just like wiped this fucking movie out for me, like completely. It just ruined everything that it had built up until we get the reveal scene, the final showdown, the main boss and stuff like that. Once you get to that, goddamn, the movie just tanks for me, like so bad. Honestly, you know what? Never mind all that shit I said before. Fuck this fucking movie. It sucks my ass. The ending totally fucks it up, and I cannot fucking stand that shit. Oh, god damn it, Scream. I'm really excited about Scream 7, though. I haven't talked about that enough yet, but yeah. I can't wait to see what they do. Whatever they end up doing in Scream 7, I don't even give a fuck at this point. Bring Stu back. Don't bring Stu back. Bring fucking Randy back. Bring fucking Devin Sawa into this motherfucker and get him all, make him be Ghostface for some reason. Do some shit like that. I'm just excited to watch a Scream movie in the theaters. I think that'll be really fun. I don't think I've seen a Scream movie in the theaters before, so that'll be a first time experience for me. I cannot wait. So let's go ahead and get into the damn spoilers. I don't think I have anything else leading up to this movie or, talking about it or whatever. We'll get into all the details as we go along because here goes nothing. Here comes the spoilers, guys. It starts out, we get Samara Weaving opener, which is pretty cool. I like a good Samara Weaving character in a movie. The lady from Ready or Not in the wedding dress, fantastic lady. If you ask me, one of the top 10 ladies in a movie. So we get Samara Weaving. She's using her Australian accent, which is also pretty neat to see. I didn't even realize she was from down under until I saw this movie, and I was like, wow, one of our own from down under. Not a lot of people know, but I'm actually Australian, and I just do an American Midwest accent the whole time I'm shooting this podcast to kind of hone in my voice acting skills. But I rarely use my real Australian voice because I feel like it's a little harder to understand than the standard Midwest accent from the United States. What? So anyway, she's at the bar. She's going on a blind date. She gets a call from this guy, and he's just like, hey, I can't find the bar. I think I'm close by, though. Can you tell me the color of the building? So she's like, yeah, sure can. And then she goes outside, and she's like, it's red? And he's like, I don't see a red building. Damn. Sounds like I'm at the right place, though, but I can't see it. And she's just like, all right, let me see. And so she starts walking around and shit. And she's like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, I don't see you at all or whatever. And he's like, why don't you come down the dark alley and see if you can find me or something like that? And she's like, yeah, all right. Fair enough. And so she does. And then all of a sudden she gets fucking, the guy on the phone starts pretending like he's getting attacked by somebody with a knife. He's like, hey, wait a minute. I do see somebody. And he's got a boner and he's not wearing any clothes. Oh no, he's touching me with it. Oh. He's rummaging on me. It's shooting at me. No, just kidding. He's like, I'm getting stabbed or whatever. And then all of a sudden she's like, wait, what the hell? I'm going to call 911 or something. That's my real voice. And then he turns, he's Ghostface, and he's just like, oh yeah, you teach a class about slashers and you're so goddamn stupid that you walked into a dark alley alone. What? And she's like, what? And then Ghostface pops out, stabs her to death. The surprising part about all of this is that he takes his mask off right after this and reveals himself to be one of the Oompa Loompas from the Johnny Depp Willy Wonka movie. His name is Randy Forvioli, and he is fantastic in this movie. He's also Flash from the new Spider-Man movies, which, best Flash out there, Randy Forvioli. I loved him in every movie I've ever seen him in. He's one of the best Randys I've ever seen in a movie. Anyway, this guy, this is one thing I want to talk about real quick because I just watched another movie that did this whole double reveal thing that we get in this in the opening of Scream 6. And I'll talk about it pretty soon, actually. We'll keep going, and then I'll compare the two movies because I just thought this was really interesting. Anyway, so he changes into his normal clothes. He walks on home. He bumps into Tara, Jenna Ortega's character, on his walk home, and he's like, oh, hey, Tara, I'll see you at the party later and shit like that. I'm going to be there. And he's just kind of like, hey, do you think Sam could come to the party too? And Tara's like, no, Sam doesn't go to a frat party. She wouldn't be caught dead at a little frat party. You know what I'm saying, guy? And he's just like, fire. And then he goes over to his house, I guess. He gets home and he's like, hey, Greg, I'm home. Hey, my roommate, Greg, I'm back. And Greg calls him and he's just like, yeah, I just did a Ghostface kill, and it was so cool, dog. And this guy, Jason, is the guy that we're with right now. He's like, sorry, Greg, I just had to get some practice in. I know we wanted to wait and do it together because we like just doing it together. You know what I'm saying? And Greg's just like, oh, how was it? And he's just like, oh, every time I stabbed her, she felt a little less and less human. It was like I was just stabbing a big old hunk of fucking meat. And, he's just kind of like really oozing out the cock about this. We find out that this was their film class teacher, the lady that he just killed, Samara Weaving, was his film class teacher. Okay. Anyway, and she gave him a C- on his Giallo paper. They also talk about how their plan is to finish Richie's movie and kill the Carpenter sisters. Greg has Jason play hot or cold over the phone to find out where he is in the apartment, and he's just like, warmer. You're getting warmer near the fridge, motherfucker. He opens it up and sees that Greg is cut into all sorts of tiny little pieces and stuffed in the fridge. And then Ghostface is like, do you feel like an animal, Jason? Do you feel like a fucking animal now, motherfucker? And then he just starts stabbing the fuck out of him and kills his ass, and we get the damn title cards. Of course we do, because it's a goddamn Scream movie, and this is the opener. Oh, yeah. So anyway, what I wanted to say was, I believe this episode that I'm going to be talking about now, I did an episode with Spooky Nerd Club, again, the second episode we've done together, and we watched the movie A Bay of Blood, and it was my first time watching A Bay of Blood. He had just seen it, but he's seen it like 3 times already. I don't know how the hell he did that. It's like he's like a goddamn superhero or something when it comes to watching movies. God damn. I don't know. I'm blown away by this shit because I just watched it one time, and that was, I'm sweating, stressing, pushing myself to the limits to get through one whole movie sometimes like that. But anyway, we watched A Bay of Blood for the first time. We talked about it, and it was at the same time that I was watching Scream 6 again, rewatching it, and I was like, holy shit, A Bay of Blood from 1971 has the exact same opening scene as Scream 6, or the same idea, where like, a typical Giallo movie. I thought it was interesting too that Jason is talking about how he's like a Giallo freak or whatever, and he wrote this paper on Giallo, and this opener is a copycat of A Bay of Blood, or like a parody, or whatever you want to call it, not in a bad way or anything. It's obviously doing its own Scream version of the A Bay of Blood intro, but I just thought that was really neat. And we talk about that on that episode. Check out Spooky Nerd Club. I'll be on there, hopefully a reoccurring guest, because I love talking to Ray about movies and shit. But anyway, this opening, so A Bay of Blood has the same thing where this person gets killed. It's like a black glove killer. You think like, oh shit, they're not going to show the face, obviously. And then they do. And then a second later, the guy that they show that killed this lady gets fucking killed too, as a, same type of intro. I just thought that was really cool that this, it took that from A Bay of Blood, or I'm assuming it did. You kind of assume if you're like two slashers have similar things going on, they're probably inspired, or one's inspired by the other, most likely. And just with the Giallo stuff, there's a little bit more talk about Giallo movies in this than some of the other ones. They mentioned like how Jason's like an Argento freak later on and stuff like that. So anyway, after the title card, we go to Sam's therapist's house, or like his office or something. She's just doing a little therapy meeting. He's finally like starting to get her to talk about her dad and her boyfriend being serial killers. And she explains that after the events in the 5th movie, rumors started to spread about how people think that she orchestrated the whole thing, and Richie's actually the victim, and she's the one that like masterminded the whole Woodsboro massacre part 2 or whatever. She talks about how she killed Richie and it felt right. And then the therapist starts getting all nervous, and he's like, hey, whoa, bitch. I am not equipped to deal with this shit. You do not need to be telling me all this shit. I'm just your damn therapist. And he's like, all right, I'm going to have to report this to the authorities. And she's like, you know what? Forget you, motherfucker. You're just like all the others. Fuck you, dude. And she walks out of his house. She leaves a message on Tara's phone and is like, hey, Tara, I'm going to cook some dinner for you tonight, okay? And she gets home. She hears one of the roommates, Quinn, just like banging some guy, doggy style, I think. And Sam's mad because Tara is at like a frat party, and she might not have brought her damn taser with her. Because, I don't know. I was going to put it like an electrical shock noise on the soundboard, but I didn't. God damn. But yeah, apparently, I don't blame him, dude. If I was living in New York City, I would have like all the same weapons that Batman does, like no lethal weapons. I don't know if I guess if I had my Foyd card or whatever, yeah, I'd probably be like open carrying and shit like that. Dual pistols, like Wild West style. Just 2 6-shooters on the side of my body, ready to go at all times, fully loaded, no safeties. The right way. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, she's like, damn, Tara didn't bring her fucking taser. Oh, I better go take care of her ass or something like that. And then we cut to the party. Mindy's on the couch talking to her girlfriend, Nika, about how she's not scared to be at house parties anymore. She's like, it'd be kind of like if lightning struck twice, bitch. You know what I'm saying? There's no way I'm getting fucking stabbed at 2 house parties. Just couldn't even fucking happen. Tara is dressed up as a pirate and she is fucking real drunk. She's just like stumbling into the kitchen. She runs into this guy, Frankie, whose costume is just like in his boxers or something like that. He's like wearing a button-up shirt and then he's in his boxers. I don't know if he's supposed to be Tom Cruise in that one Tom Cruise movie where he slides out in his fucking undies or whatever. And he's like, hey, I think we're out of booze down here, little pirate. Let's go up to my room and do some shots of Fireball. It's like, yeah, this, 2023, that's like peak Fireball, honestly. I know it's still like a really popular drink now, but 2023, dude, if you had some Fireball, you were getting some damn pirate pussy. And she's like, hell yeah, I love Fireball. Anika hops up and is like, hey, Tara, you do not want to bang that guy. Trust me. And Tara's like, no, I do want to bang this guy right now. I'm going to his room to bang him and stuff like that. And then we cut over to Chad and his roommate, Ethan. Chad's just kind of like twerking up on Ethan the whole time. He's like really like pumping him up like, oh yeah, Ethan, you got a great bod and nice supple lips and a real nice cock. And I don't know why he's hyping him up like this, but he is. He's just like, you're going to make someone very happy tonight with those soft, smooth nuts between your legs. It's going to be a woman too. It definitely won't be me. And then they go get Chad and they're just like, hey, Chad, we need your help. You got to stop Tara from banging this dude. It's going to be the most awful thing in her life. And this causes a fight. Like Chad goes up to this guy, Frankie, and he's just like, hey, you're not allowed to bang her. But Tara's like, hey, I want to bang him, And he's just like, yeah, Chad, she wants to bang me, dog. And Chad's just like, not on my watch. What is Chad dressed up like? He's not wearing like any fucking clothes. He's just wearing like a cowboy hat or something. I don't know. What is he? A gay cowboy? Nice one, Chad. So anyway, they're like fighting and shit. And then Sam shows up out of nowhere and is like, hey, guess what, Frankie? Check this shit out. And she just tases his ballsack, Lonely Island style. Like, what's the Lonely Island song? Threw it on the ground when they talk about getting tased in the nuts. It's kind of like that. That's what it always makes me think of. Anyway, Tara freaks out and leaves because she's like, Sam, my sister is here to stop me from getting date raped, which is like, is what they claim is going to happen here. Seems like it's just like 2 drunk people having sex, but, I get that it could be seen possibly as like a little date rape situation as well. I'm not even going to get into it right now because it's too much to mince through on this episode of Scream 6. We're not going to do that today. Anyway, Sam chases her down. They argue about how Tara's not dealing with what happened in Scream 5. Tara's like, sister, you can't control my life and shit like that. And she's like, listen, Sam, I'm going to damn college. I'm better than you because I'm going to goddamn college with my friends. And this kind of turns into like a touching moment after she hurts her feelings and stuff like that. They're kind of like, oh yeah, we understand each other and shit. But it gets broken up because some fucking bitch comes over there and throws her cherry Coke all over Sam's jugs and just is like, fucking murderer, bitch. You fucking devil, bitch.
What?
And she like is like, yeah, what the fuck, and they kind of, they get pulled apart or whatever. And this lady's just like, yeah, you stupid bitch. You're the one that killed all those people in Woodsboro, not Richie. It wasn't him and Amber. It was fucking you fucking bitch. Tara goes home and talks to Quinn, and Quinn's like, yeah, I know how you feel because, your sister follows you around everywhere. And guess what? My dad follows me around everywhere because my brother died last year. And my dad even went so far to join the NYPD so that he could be close by me and keep an eye on me and stuff like that. And so Tara's like, damn, yeah, that is just like my situation. Chad comes in and she's like, hey, thanks for not letting me go get banged by Frankie. And he's like, listen, you can do a lot better than little date raper Frankie and stuff like that. And then they get ready to kiss. Like there's some obvious sexual tension building between Chad and Tara here. But before this can be released, Quinn busts in the door and is like, oh, I forgot my phone. And Chad and Quinn, they're kind of like, damn, Quinn, you fucked up the moment or whatever. And Quinn just keeps saying like, oh no, did I cock block you? Oh, I cock blocked you. Oh, you had just like jizz leaking out of your cock and I ruined it. Sam is down in the common area and her neighbor crush comes in. This is a guy that's mostly referred to as cute guy. He's also known as Danny. He just like comes in and kind of walks by her with a damn case of Coors Light, and she grabs him. They start making out. We find out that these two have secretly been seeing each other. I don't really get this whole thing, honestly. I get that like Sam is afraid of getting close to people, but they are seeing each other. She just doesn't want any of her friends to know that she's seeing this guy, but they're all, anytime it gets brought up, they're like encouraging her to go like be with this guy, or at least like go talk to him. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just didn't get why it was even necessary. I guess just to show that like she's fucked up, like Sam, she's dark and shit. Chad runs out and is like, Sam, you got to get up here right now. The news is on and they're talking about their classmates that were killed, Jason and Greg or whatever. Ghostface style. And Sam's grabbing a damn knife and is like, Tara, pack your bags. We're getting the fuck out of New York right now. Tara's like, no way. I don't think this has anything to do with us because we're in New York now and this isn't Woodsboro. And even though it's a Ghostface kill, it's probably not coming after us. Quinn calls her New York Police Department dad, and Sam is getting a call from Gail. She doesn't answer the Gail call though, but she does talk to the cop dad, and he's like, yeah, it does have to do with you guys. I need you to come down to the police station right fucking now. So Sam and Tara, they head to the police station. Sam starts getting a call from her old boyfriend, Dead Richie's number. Yeah, and she answers it. It's Ghostface. He's like, oh yeah, I'm going to prove that it's actually you that was the killer at Woodsboro and that you're a little killer and everyone's going to know about it. And they're kind of like arguing about this a little bit. And while they're doing that, Ghostface runs up, grabs Tara from behind, but they whoop his fucking ass and run into a convenience store, which this is something in this movie that drives me nuts. I mean, it kind of drives me nuts in a lot of Scream movies because I just don't get, I mean, I get that like, yeah, you're going to want to get away, but it's like if you're whooping this guy's ass and you know that he's going to like constantly be stalking you and it's 2-on-1 right now, why not just like stick around and whoop his fucking ass? Like stomp the fuck out of him, curb stomp his ass. You're outside. But anyway, they run into the convenience store. Ghostface stabs like 2 dudes right off the bat. They're kind of like, hey, buddy, you can't cut in line. Some antics like that, you know what I'm saying? And the clerk tries to blast him with a shotgun, but Ghostface ducks out of the way because he's super fucking fast in this movie. For some reason too. He just like dodges bullets like it's no big deal. He's like goddamn the Jim Carrey in the movie The Mask or something. Sam and Tara try to escape, but Ghostface gets the jump on the clerk. He like takes the shotgun from him, whoops his ass, and then he blasts the clerk right in the face with the shotgun and just starts like tearing the place apart trying to find the sisters. Sam and Tara, they're kind of hiding, so Sam tosses a can of Coors Edge, which I thought was really great product placement. Great product there. Coors Edge, one of the finest beers you can buy besides the Coors Light we saw earlier in Danny's hand. I'd rather have the Coors Light than the Coors Edge, to be completely honest. Anyway, she throws the can across the store or whatever, makes a noise, distracts him. So he goes over there, and they're like on opposite sides of the shelf right now. So they see each other through the cracks. Sam and Tara like push the shelf on top of Ghostface and take off outside right as the cops are pulling up. The killer sneaks out back before they can even catch his ass. So this is like what I was saying earlier about I like the way this movie starts out. This is one of the reasons why. Like, you get the first kill right away or whatever. It gets discovered. It's on the news. They know about it and everything. And as they're on their way to the police station, you think it would probably be one of those things where like they're out in public on the streets. But because you have the New York setting, it does make it more believable that like nowhere is really that safe because of the, it's almost like overcrowded in New York City. So I thought that was really neat, and I thought the pacing that they this movie like takes off with was really great. The first time I saw 5, I was kind of disappointed with 5. So when this one started out like this, I was a little more into it. And not to mention, at this point, the new characters had started to grow on me a little bit more. They're not my favorites by far, but I like them more in this one than I did in 5. I'll say that much. Now they're at the police office. He gets their alibi. This is Detective Bailey. He is the Quinn's dad, cop guy. You know what I'm saying? Dermot Mulroney, or whatever the fuck his name is. Macaroni Dermot. Got his ass. He plays Detective Bailey. So he gets their alibi and kind of asks like who might want to hurt them, and they're like, we don't know. Nobody that's still alive, motherfucker. And he's kind of like, oh yeah, fair enough. Then the FBI show up and we see that the FBI is Kirby. She's in the damn FBI now. And she like takes a special interest in Ghostface threats or killings and, anything related to Ghostface. She obviously that's something that she specializes in or whatever. She sees Sam and Tara and they're like, hey, what's up? We know you from high school. And she's like, yep, I was a senior when you were a freshman and stuff like that. So they're like, cool. Yeah, hell yeah. We know Kirby. Kind of, I guess. Sam and Tara are like, well, we're going to leave town now because fuck this. We don't want to die. But cop dad Bailey, he's just like, no, you can't leave town because you're involved in a double homicide now and stuff like that. So they leave the station. They get ambushed by the media. Gail pops out and Sam tries to punch her, but she like dodges that shit real quick. But then Tara decks her ass instead, like while she's distracted. She's just like, oh, yeah, nice try, Sam. You thought you could punch. Oh, fuck my fucking face. Oh, fucking little Tara's too fast. And that is one. Oh, jumping back earlier for 1 second. Actually, hold on. I need a damn drink, guys. Sorry, it's getting a little itchy in my throat there. When the double homicide that they're involved in is because Sam's driver's license was found at the scene of the crime with Jason and Greg. So that's just like a little trick that Ghostface did to make sure that they don't leave New York after this happens. So anyway, they give Gail a bunch of shit about how she wrote a book about what happened in Scream 5 and is selling the movie rights to what happened to them in the last movie. And she's just kind of like, oh yeah, sorry about that shit. And they're just like, we don't care. We don't accept your apology, bitch, and stuff like that. And she's just like, okay, well, I did just want to tell you that Sydney called and she told me that she sends you guys her love and she wishes you the very best, but she's not going to be in this movie. I mean, she's taking her family and going into hiding and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, it's interesting how much this like mirrors whenever they meet Randy's sister in Scream 3, like how she's like, yeah, everyone sends you their love or whatever. Like it just feels like a really awkward way to present this idea of like this character's not showing up in this movie. But whatever, it is what it is. It works enough, I guess. After that, we cut over to the therapist from the beginning of the movie. He's just watching Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the OG version. There's a knock at his door, and the dude on the screen is just shouting, "You're next," over and over again. And he goes to answer the door as this guy's screaming this. So great little bit of foreshadowing there, I do have to say that. I always really appreciate something like that when they can have the TV kind of mirroring what's happening, or showing what's getting ready to happen in like a little clever way like this. Sure do like that. Dr. Stone, he's like, "Hey, who's there? Who's at my fucking house?" But no one answers. So he gets like really, really close to it. And he's like, "Trick or treat's not till tomorrow, you little dumbass." But then he gets like grabbed through the glass. Ghostface just like busts through the glass, grabs him and slams his face into like the bars on the door about a handful of times, and then stabs him right through the nose. He falls down. He's fucking dead. He breaks in and steals Sam's file from his filing cabinet. So now we're with the group, and Mindy is leading the rules of the franchise, So this one is specifically about the rules of a franchise. Like, it's not about the rules of a sequel or a requel or a trilogy or whatever. This one is about the overall franchise, which I don't know. I like the whole rules scene and stuff like that. I like that they keep up with this, and they always come up with, I guess you could say, new rules. But at this point, I feel like they've kind of said these rules multiple times in one way or another, like maybe not word for word, but she's like, it's got to be bigger and better. Forget what happened last time. No one is safe, especially the legacy characters. And she's like, the worst part is that even the main characters could die at any time, which that means Sam and Tara. You guys could die for sure. And then she lists off a bunch of movies that this happens in. She's like, oh yeah, like Luke Skywalker and Star Wars and yada yada, Yoda and Star Wars and Obi-Wan Kenobi and Star Wars.
What? 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 What?
And then Mindy goes over to Ethan and she's like, "And you're a suspect because you're fucking Chad's roommate, dog." And then she goes, "And you are a suspect too, Quinn, because you're roommates with Sam and Tara, and we barely know you motherfuckers. We only know you guys for like 6 months or something." And then she calls out her girlfriend Anika too. She's just like, "You're a love interest. You're new too. So guess what, bitch? You are also a suspect." Ethan and Quinn are like, "Well, maybe you guys could be the killers because of the trauma of what you went through in Woodsboro last year." They kind of reluctantly agree that, they're kind of like, "What? No, we're not suspects for sure." But I think they also acknowledge like, yeah, we all kind of are suspects at this point. You can't really we can't know for sure who's the damn killer, right? Because he wears a mask. Quinn's dad shows Kirby pictures of the dead therapist. He's like, "Yeah, the killer left Roman's mask at the crime scene from Scream 3. And then they go in front of like a big whiteboard or whatever that has all the Ghostface killer's pictures on there and the masks that they found so far. Because they found like, I think Charlie and Jill's mask at the convenience store or something. Somewhere they found those at the fucking Jason and Greg's or something like that. I can't remember, but they're finding masks. They're being left on purpose as like little clues or like a countdown, basically. After Kirby leaves, Bailey, he's just like, hey, John, can you look up some info about Agent Kirby for me? I'm gonna keep an eye on her. Everyone's staying at Sam and Tara's house for safety in numbers. This is where Chad nicknames the group the Core Four. And there's this thing about Chad where, like, in my opinion, he died in 5. I like Chad as a character. I'm kind of, just for the character's sake, I like him in the movie. You know what I mean? And even, we'll get into it later on, I'm glad that he's in this movie. You know what, though? If you're going to do that, though, you need to just write it to where he doesn't die in 5. Because at the end of 5, They don't even show him being like brought out in a stretcher and like, you know, with the mask on his face. And they're like, he's barely alive. We got to rush him to the hospital or anything. You just see him get like brutally stabbed out in the yard with nothing that interrupts it. So it just like cuts after him getting stabbed a bunch. So it's like, okay, so he's dead in 5. It just drives me nuts that like, when it comes to the writing with these movies, sometimes they can't make up their mind on like who's going to live and who's going to die. So they end up just being like, yeah, actually, he's not fucking dead, guys. What do you think about that shit? And it's like, hey, that's fine. Just don't kill the fucking character then. Have it be a close call. And like, you know, make it to where it's actually a close call and not them getting like stabbed into the dirt. And that's the last thing we see of them. And then they're just all of a sudden back with no explanation. So anyway, Chad nicknames them the Core 4. He's like, yeah, but everyone's kind of like, no, we're not the Core 4, motherfucker. Shut up, that's lame or whatever. And he's kind of like, damn, I thought that was cool. I like the name, actually. And then we hear some more news updates about naming Sam as the number 1 suspect for these new killings. She's pretty tore up about it. She goes in the kitchen and kind of starts like crying to herself. Tara goes in there and she's just like, hey, Sam, I know we've all been going through some dark shit, but no one knows what you're going through because, you know, you're going through this whole other aspect of this terrible shit that's going on by yourself because people think that you're the fucking villain and you know, and so they bond on that. Chad and Mindy, they all come in and comfort her and they're just like, hey, no one in here thinks you're the damn killer. We love you and shit like that. And then she finally tells them about the guys that she's been sleeping with to kind of like, you know, bring in this circle of trust that they got going on right here. And they're all just like, oh yeah, we knew it. Oh yeah, hell yeah, we love it. We love that you're banging that guy. That rocks and stuff like that. And after that, they're all just like, you know what? We are the fucking Core 4 and we fucking kick ass. And then we cut to the dude, Danny. He like lives in the same apartment, but like across the alley. I guess it's like a U-shaped building or something. He can see across the alley that Ghostface is standing over Quinn in her bedroom. And he just starts hooting and hollering as loud as he can, trying to get someone's attention. But there's too much damn traffic noise. Danny starts calling to warn her, but she's like, hey, you know, he calls Sam and Sam just looks at the phone. She's like, oh, it's Danny right now. And they all just kind of like laugh about it. Like, oh, Danny, we knew it and stuff like that. And she's like, I'll just give him a call later. It's probably nothing important. And then they hear a bunch of banging coming from Quinn's room. And they're just like, oh, there's Quinn just getting butt fucked by that guy again or whatever. Oh, Quinn. What a jokester. And then they get like a photo drop or whatever from Danny's phone. And it's just a picture of Quinn getting stabbed. And they're like, oh, that's not good. That doesn't look like butt fucking at all. They check the door and Quinn gets thrown into them. And she is just like all stabbed up, you know, like with her throat cut and stuff. Tara and Chad, they take off out of the apartment. Mindy gets a slash on the arm and her girlfriend gets stabbed really, really bad in the gut. Like I was like, okay, she's dead right now because the knife is like all the way in down to the handle and he's like lifting it, you know, he's like doing that thing that he did to Dewey when he's like lifting up the knife through her gun. It's just like, okay, that's not good. But they get away from Ghostface. They like whack him over the head with a knife holder block, like a big ass block of wood, you know. They lock themselves in Quinn's room. Chad and Tara are like halfway down the apartment stairs when they realize nobody else made it out of the apartment, so they run back up and then they fucking realize they're locked out of the apartment because they didn't bring their keys with them. They can see Danny, like the other group of people that are in Quinn's room, they can see Danny across the alley or whatever, and he drags out an escape ladder. They put it in between the windows over about like a 40-foot drop. Sam goes first. She starts crawling her way across over to Danny, and Anika is just sitting on the bed bleeding her fucking ass off right now. And Ghostface is like trying to kick the damn door in. They just have a dresser blocking the door. And like at this point, Mindy and Sam were holding it closed. And now it's just Mindy, who also has like a pretty bad cut on her arm. Mindy's like, you know, Anika's like, Mindy, you should go next for some reason. Even though like Annika cannot hold that fucking door closed. She can barely stand up. So Ghostface is about to kick the damn door down or whatever. And Mindy gets across. Anika starts trying to crawl across, but it's just like, oh, that would be so hard with a giant stomach wound. You're basically going to be using like nothing but your core strength to crawl across this ladder. And she just had her whole core cut open. So she gets about halfway across. Ghostface busts through the damn door, of course, and he just starts rocking the fuck out of the ladder like hard as hell. She keeps trying to make it across, but he launches her off. Her face smashes against the dumpster, and she is fucking dead. So, yeah, that's another thing. Like I said, the pacing is really great. Like, this feels like a really intense, fast-paced, like brutal Scream movie at this point. So I was loving it up until the end. I thought everything was going pretty swell. I could ignore some of the other like just goofy shit decisions that are, they're going to happen in most movies. Anyway, this brings us to the next morning. The place is taped off as a crime scene. Danny tells Sam, he's just like, hey, Sam, it's not your fault, dog. She explains that someone took their knives out of the kitchen so they couldn't fight back. That's why she had the empty wood block that she smacked Ghostface with. And he's like, listen, if this is somebody close to you, you shouldn't trust anybody, not even me. And she's like, yeah, you're right. I will do that or whatever, Ethan comes walking up and Chad just like grabs him and body slams him into a car. And he's just like, where were you? Tell me where you were. And Ethan's like, I was at econ. I had an econ class. There were like 20 other people there. You can ask anybody. And they're just like, giving him shitty looks like, we think you fucking did it, you little curly-headed fuck face. Detective Bailey comes up. They're just like, we're so sorry about your daughter and stuff. And he's crying. And he's like, yeah, they kicked me off the case because it's too close to me or whatever, because it's my daughter's involved. And he's like, but I'm still going to go behind the police and NYPD's back, and I'm going to help you guys out because I'm going to fucking find this guy and I'm going to fucking kill him because if you fuck with my family, you fucking die. And they're like, hell yeah, sweet Detective Bailey. We're glad to have you on the team, Gail rolls up and calls a truce between Sam and Tara. She's like, hey, I just found out where all these old Ghostface masks are coming from. Kirby also pulls up and the whole squad follows Gail to a storage building that the two killers that got killed at the beginning were stashing all of this like Ghostface memorabilia. Kirby's like, damn, I never saw anything about this after running their financial records. And Gail's like, well, that's because I'm fucking good as shit at my job. Better than you are, FBI agent Kirby, bitch. They get in this place and it is a shrine to all the Ghostface killings. They walk around and they see like a lot of real evidence mixed with stab merchandise. There's even detailed drawings of all the people involved, like portraits of them, and their murder scenes like drawn in great detail, like with pencil and red marker for the blood or something. It's just pretty wild. You know what I mean? Like pretty wild that someone would even put this much time and effort into a stab / Woodsboro murder shrine. And it's in like a giant old theater warehouse fucking thing or whatever. Anyway, Sam walks up to the Billy Loomis Ghostface outfit and she just gets a little Billy vision again of him being like, this place is fucking cool, Sam. It's got all sorts of cool Scream scary shit in it for me to look at, and it's like all about all the cool shit that I like to do, Let's start slicing up some motherfuckers. What? And she's like, no, leave me alone, Ghost Billy. And then Tara goes up to her, and she's like, Sam, you good? And Sam's like, yeah, I'm good. Just having a little bit of just spacing out a little bit there, dog. Don't worry about it. But Tara gets a little freaked out by this whole thing and walks out of there. Kirby and Mindy, they have a little horror trivia showdown right here. And it's just kind of like one of those things where I can't remember. I think Kirby initiates it where she's like, I heard you were pretty into horror movies there, Mindy. And they start being like, what's your favorite Friday the 13th or whatever, And yeah. What's your favorite? Which Candyman is better, the remake or the original? And they're like, both. And they're just like, hell yeah, you guys, you also know about horror movies and have all the right opinions to know that you're good at horror movies, which is something that I love. I love to see this on the internet that like, only certain opinions are correct about horror movies nowadays. And if you have the wrong opinion, you must shut the fuck up. That is one of my favorite things about like the horror community in general and like horror Instagram and stuff like that. If you have any kind of a nuanced take or anything like that, you're probably just a little asshole hater and you've never even seen a damn horror movie in your life. Oh, that was the wrong one. I was going to do that one is what I meant to hit. So that was my bad. I messed up that whole little rant there. I was going to, you know what I was going to do. I was going to emphasize it with a sweet little soundboard clip that everyone seems to like so much. Damn. The soundboard is probably everyone's favorite part of the show from what I've heard. So anyway, they do this. Sam tries to talk to Tara. She gets upset and takes off again. I can't even remember why exactly. I think they're just like talking more about like, shit that happened with their families and stuff like that or something. I don't know. Gail talks to Sam about her family and what it's like to lose somebody, She's like, yeah, it's scary to just have that one person that you feel like you can really connect with and then lose them, but you still got to keep going and stuff like that. So she's obviously referring to Dewey. Kirby talks to Tara about how she died when she was stabbed. She's like, yeah, I fucking died for like 4 minutes, But then I was brought back to life. And whenever I was brought back, I decided I'm going to hunt down monsters. I'm going to join the FBI and catch all these motherfuckers myself. And then the detective walks up and is like, hey, I think I've got an idea how to catch this little fucker. Kirby, Chad, Mindy, and Ethan, they're all in like a little surveillance van. They're going to try to get Ghostface to call Sam and then track the phone. Also, Detective Bailey is nearby, like wearing an earpiece and stuff like that. Sam starts getting the call from Richie's phone. They track the call to Gail's apartment because for some reason, whenever they're getting ready to do this plan, Kirby's like, sorry, Gail, you can't come along because you're the press, even though Gail like just showed them where this Ghostface warehouse was and they had a truce and she said she would do everything off the record because she just wants to help them out of the kindness of her damn heart. And then Kirby still kicks her out and so Ghostface is like, ha ha ha, I'm at Gail's house, dumbasses. You should have let her come with you. Sam and Tara, they steal Bailey's cop car and just start driving over to Gail's house. Over at Gail's place, her new boyfriend answers the phone and is like, hey, Gail, it's for you. He says it's the killer. And Gail's like, okay, give me the phone. And so they finally have their first phone conversation. This is the first time we got a Gail Ghostface phone call, I guess. At least I think that's, I think that's right. I think this is the first Gail and Ghostface phone call. I was going to say showdown, but they do have that moment in Scream 4 where she gets stabbed in the shoulder by Ghostface. Anyway, while she's on the phone talking to Ghostface and shit, being distracted, her boyfriend gets grabbed in the background and killed while she's talking to Ghostface. She gets interrupted by this guy getting, her boyfriend getting thrown through a bookshelf like he's a damn WWE character or something like that. Ghostface comes after her. She smacks him in the fucking head with a frying pan and runs through like a big outside balcony to try to lock him out of the apartment. She runs to her bedroom, locks the door, starts to unlock her gun safe while Ghostface is like trying to kick down the door. As soon as she gets it open, she just starts blasting through the door and all the banging on the door stops. The phone rings again and he's like, you missed me. She's just like, oh yeah. And he's kind of like messing around with her. He's like, oh, actually you didn't. No, I'm dying. You shot me and shit like that. So she leaves the locked bedroom and just starts wandering around the apartment. I guess just like, yeah, I'm out here now. I'm going to shoot you in the fucking head, motherfucker. I'm not even going to hide in my safe ass bedroom and just wait for the cops to get here. Another thing that's just like, okay, as the way this movie's gone, this is one of those little things that I can look past where it's like, hey, Gail, I get that you want to shoot this guy, but right now it's one-on-one and you're kind of at a little bit of a disadvantage. You know what I mean? Like not a great way to approach the situation. Why not at least wait till the cops get here and you guys can group back together and try to do the strength in numbers thing? That seems like a better plan. But anyway, Ghostface, he's just kind of shit talking her while she's walking around. He's like, oh yeah, I kicked your boyfriend's ass and stuff like that, and it was super easy. And Gail's like, can you hold please? She hangs up the phone and then immediately like redials the number, and she hears the phone ringing through like another closet door or some shit. And so she just starts blasting. Ghostface busts through the door and stabs her in the shoulder and the leg, like really bad. And but she gets up. They chase each other around some more. Gail grabs an arm and just judo flips Ghostface through a table.
What?
This whole fight scene, like, it's pretty cool, but it's just another one that's like kind of hard to believe, where it's like she just got like stabbed in the shoulder and the leg, like hard as shit. And I get that Gail's a badass and all that stuff, but also her boyfriend gets killed so easy, and we see so many people like fight off Ghostface. This guy is like a big jacked guy, and like he's just like, grabs him and basically is offered no resistance and stabbed to death. And it's like, okay. And not to mention just how quiet it is, because it's like, yeah, I guess I get it if he just like instantly started killing him, but he would have to like grab him by the mouth first and like be strong enough to completely silence this guy without getting shook off. But that's neither here nor there, because we haven't got to the part that ruins the movie yet. Gail grabs Ghostface's knife and is about to stab him with it, but Ghostface last second just grabs a big shard of glass and stabs Gail in the stomach with it before she can. So she's like, oh fuck, that fucking sucked. I just got stabbed 3 fucking times. He gets ready to stab her in the face with the knife, and somehow she's able to block this attack. It's like one of those things where he's got like both his hands on the knife and he's like driving it down like hard as shit. And she just like grabs his wrist. And even though she's been stabbed in the stomach, the shoulder, and the leg, she's strong enough to stop this attack long enough for Tara and Sam to run up, grab a gun, and just start shooting at Ghostface and missing him completely, because he, again, is so fast. He just like ninja rolls out of the way of these bullets and then runs out the door. It's like, okay, it's fine. It's fine right now. Just keep it going. It's fine. The ambulance show up. They take Gail right as she's starting to lose consciousness. And this is one of those scenes almost like in Scream 4 where I was kind of like, damn, is Gail dead? Like, I didn't really think she was probably going to die this way. I thought it would be more of like a Dewey type of death, like a more dramatic thing. But the first time I watched Scream 4, I remember when Sydney gets stabbed and just kind of falls down and goes unconscious. I was like, holy shit, they just fucking killed Sydney. Obviously, that's not what really happens, but this kind of felt similar to that, where it's like, damn, maybe she is fucking dead. She did get the shit stabbed out of her. The group get back together, and Sam's like, maybe I should just let him kill me to keep the rest of you guys safe, just end this whole fucking thing. And of course, they're just like, fuck no, that's a fucking stupid idea. Shut the fuck up. Don't do that dumb bullshit. They talk to Detective Bailey about a plan that involves trapping the killer in like a kill room and then killing him. So that seems like a pretty solid plan. So they take the subway. Not everybody splits up, but it's like, I think everybody besides Kirby and Bailey, they go on the subway. They're going to the Woodsboro Massacre Shrine, the big theater. Mindy gets stuck in the crowd of the subway station and ends up missing the train. So she has to take the next train behind Sam, Tara, Chad. And yeah, she's also stuck there with Ethan. So she does not trust Ethan at all, though. She keeps looking at him and she's like, get the fuck away from me, Ghostface, you little fucking murderer, and stuff like that. And he's just kind of like, God damn, all right. So they get on the next train. It's Halloween. So when they're on the train, they realize that this whole damn train is packed with all sorts of Hellraisers and Michael Myers and Ghostfaces. Mindy and Ethan, they're on the next train. They kind of realize the same thing. Mindy's keeping her distance from Ethan. She's just like, I know you're a damn Ghostface, bitch. During the ride, there are all these like flickering lights constantly. This is something I was reading about in the production that I guess the special effects guy. So was like, hey, maybe we need to do less flickering lights. It just seems like completely fucking unrealistic. But they're like, no, let's keep it. We like the vibe of it. It's really cool, you know. It kind of looks like the Blade nightclub scene because of how much the damn lights are flickering. Another thing that I thought was interesting, they were going off about how they're like, oh yeah, the subway scene was all practical. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, obviously they're on a subway, I guess, you know what I mean? And it was like they had a train car that they were pulling around with a truck or some shit like that, I guess, or something. It's one of those things, like when you realize how much goes into like making movies like this and like the set pieces that they create so that they don't have to go shoot on site. I'm guessing it's to get around like permits and paperwork and stuff like that for actually like going to a real subway station and probably having to shut it down or like at least like film around like live, you know, random people in the crowd and stuff like that that'll probably be like freaking out and fucking playing with their doo-doo and stuff on the sidewalk. Instead, they'd rather just build a fucking subway at a place and drive it around on a truck. So anyway, during the ride, like I said, all these flickering lights are going off, like little blackouts, basically. Both train cars, they keep getting freaked out because occasionally, like, they'll see a ghost face walking towards them while the lights are flickering, and they're like, oh, fuck, here he comes. It's damn ghost-faced again. Mindy keeps moving further and further to the back of the train. She's kind of getting pushed back because the car is so crowded. When she's get all the way to the back, like her back's against the door or whatever, this ghost face just starts like staring at her. And every time the lights flicker, starts getting like closer and closer to her. And she's kind of like, oh, what the fuck's going on? She loses track of him. And then all of a sudden he just pops out, puts a hand over her mouth and stabs the holy fuck out of her stomach. And he even kind of does that thing that he did with Annika where he's like yanking the knife around in there. Like it's not just like a quick stab. He's like really like, yeah, like grooving that shit around, like grinding it up in her. And it's just kind of like, okay, she's dead. But, you know, we'll see. No, she's not. She's obviously not dead. If you're listening to this, you know about Scream 7 and who's casting the motherfucker, and you've obviously probably seen this movie, so I'm not even going to try to pretend like you don't know. She does not die from this. Nobody dies from their injuries in this movie, honestly, except for Annika, probably. She's like the only, and the people at the gas station, you know. The expendable characters, I guess. That is something about this movie that we'll talk about in a little bit. So the train stops, everyone clears out. Ethan sees her like laying on the ground. He's like, help, she's been stabbed and stuff. And he drags her off the train. And he's like, call 911. And Mindy's like, oh shit, I got it wrong again. Damn, I really wished I would have guessed it right that you were the killer, Ethan. That would make me feel way better right now. The group of the first train, they meet up with Kirby. They go outside the theater, and they're about to go in, and last minute, Sam's like, hey, Danny, you cannot come in. And he's like, what? What the what? Why not? And she's like, you're not Woodsboro, dog. And he's like, you're right. I get it, Sam. I'll stay out here for you and stuff like that, you know. I don't know what the fuck he says, but he says something like, I trust your decision, Sam. I respect you. Oh, yeah. I needed another drink there. Kirby brings him inside, explains how whenever the killer enters, the doors will automatically lock, and it's going to turn into a damn little kill box, and they're just going to drill kill his ass hard as fuck. The only one that is allowed to have a weapon is Kirby, and she's like, I'm an FBI agent. I get to have a gun. There's going to be no other weapons in here, which isn't true, but, you know, whatever, Kirby. Sam tries to get a hold of Mindy, but she doesn't answer, and then she hears Ghost Billy, and he's like, you know you're not safe here. You need to get your own weapon and clear this place, damn it, Sam. And then she reaches into the glass case where his costume is and grabs the crusty, bloody knife from Scream 1, I guess?
What?
I don't know.
What?
This thing is like fucking like brown. It almost looks like when you put bread on a chicken breast and fry it up in a pan. Anyway, I kind of assumed that like when Kirby said she got rid of all the weapons, that she meant there would be no weapon. Like she makes it sound like there's not going to be any damn knives in here or any more guns or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? There's just going to be the one weapon, which is my gun, so that, you know, once Ghostface gets in here, he can't find more weapons, I guess, or something. I don't know. It didn't really make that much sense to me. When Sam turns around, the theater is cleared out, like after she has this Billy vision. And I guess anyway, that's what it looks like. There's no one behind her anymore. None of her friends, no Kirby. Bailey calls Sam and is like, "Hey, Sam, you got to get out of there, Sam. I just got off the phone with the damn FBI. Kirby got fired months ago and she's mentally unstable." And then the lights kick off and a projector turns on. It just shows like a homemade version of the opening scene of Scream or Stab. And Sam's like, oh, fuck, it's the final showdown. And then we cut to Tara and Chad. They get a little kissing session going where they're just kissing by the snack bar pretty good. Right when this happens, though, Tara gets stabbed in the fucking back. Sorry. Oh, man. My throat is getting so scratchy right now. But, yeah, that is just, you know, people just get stabbed left and right in this movie, and it, like, barely affects them. Right when this happens, though, Tara gets... Oh, I already said that. God damn it. My notes are all getting jumbled up in my brain. Chad starts whooping Ghostface's ass, like, bad. Like, he just, like, bitch slaps him and then throws him down and just, like, fucking... He's, like, you know... Like in a UFC fight when they're TKOing the guy on the ground, they're just like wailing the fuck out of his brain, and the referee should clearly stop the fight, but he's just kind of standing there watching it happen like, I wonder if he's going to get back up anytime soon. It's kind of like he's whooping his ass that bad, but he just stops and they take off running. And it's like, hey guys, I have an idea. Once you got one of these guys down, one of these Ghostface guys, why don't you do something that matters? Like, why not, you know, instead of just like pushing him down or kicking him down or punching him one time, why don't you like double, like with both of your feet, jump up in the air and stomp onto his head or something like that? Like you're a goddamn Super Smash Bros. Character or something. You just gotta stick around and finish whooping these guys' ass big time. So they run off. Sam meets up with these two, and then another Ghostface jumps out, and he just fucking whoops his ass too. He like picks up this big ass old camera from Scream 1, like the camera that we see the guy carrying around, the big fat camera guy, and he just fucking like crushes his head with it, and then they just take off running again. It's like that would probably bust someone's head wide open and, you know, at least like stun them for a bit to where the three of you could just start curb stomping these guys. Sam and Tara could just hold his hands while Chad just like does whatever he wants to his face, you know, fucking gives his ass the stink face next in the turnbuckle if he wants to. Give him the fucking sweet dreams or whatever, the gold dust finisher. Any WWE move you want to do when you're doing a 3-on-1, you could do to these Ghostface guys right now. So they get back to the snack bar. There's another 3v1 chance where the three of these, and there's one Ghostface that pops out. Chad tells Sam, he's like, Sam, Tara, you guys run. I got this under control, you know. And then another Ghostface pops out and just stabs him, you know, right in the fucking back or whatever. And then, so this is the craziest shit ever. This is the part, one of the parts that just like when this movie really started to just dive bomb downhill, because both these Ghostface grab him one arm apiece, like they got him in fucking double chicken wings or whatever, and they both just start stabbing the living fuck out of Chad. Like 20 times in the chest or so. You know what I'm saying? So he's dead again. Like he died in Scream 5. He's definitely dead now. There's blood coming out of his fucking ears and his nose and his eyes and his mouth while he's getting stabbed in the chest. So he is dead. It's just insane that they're, you know, we know what happens. He's not dead. At the end, we'll get to it. Anyway, Sam and Tara run. They get cornered in the main theater area by the two ghost faces. They grab bricks, and Sam's like, all right, you ready, Tara? Let's fuck these motherfuckers up. Street street justice style. Right then, Kirby shows up and starts blasting at the ghost faces. They take off running, and Sam and Tara, they're still suspicious of her. She's all like fucking beat up and bleeding and shit though, and she's like, they fucking got me, Sam and Tara. I'm not part of this shit. And then Bailey pops out with his gun, and he's just like, drop the gun, Kirby. We all know that you're a crazy bitch, you know. And Ghostface runs up behind Bailey, and Kirby's like, hey, Bailey, look out. But he just starts shooting Kirby, and then the two ghost faces join Bailey. And we get the reveal that Ethan is not Ethan. He's some other guy who's Bailey's son. And the other ghost face is actually Quinn, Bailey's daughter, and they faked her death earlier. And for some reason, Bailey's like, oh, yeah, you guys should have seen it coming. I can't believe you didn't fucking guess it. I was going to be one of the fucking ghost faces, and so are my two kids that you pretending not to be my kids. Fuck. And Bailey pulls out Billy's mask, and he's just like, all right, Sam, put on the mask. Put on the mask. And she like slaps it away, and Ethan cuts her arm, and Ethan's just like, I got you, Sam. I'm a crazy little dick now. Ethan starts acting like a little shit dick, and Quinn starts acting like a crazy ass bitch, and Bailey's like acting like a crazy dickhead too. This is just, I don't know how many times I can say this in the Scream franchise. This is like the pinnacle clown shit moment in any Scream movie ever. It's the worst one I've ever seen. It's the reason why this is the worst Scream movie in my opinion. It's what really tanks this movie. Like, it's unforgivable. I can't stand the end of this movie. And, Bailey's like, yeah, we know you didn't do the Woodsboro murder, Sam. We're the ones that started the rumors. And they just like, they explain the typical Scream shit where they're like, we're going to frame you, Sam, for killing Tara and shit like that. And that you did all the murders and because you're Billy Loomis's daughter and stuff, and, rinse and repeat. And then they explain that Richie, was Quinn and Ethan's brother and obviously Bailey's son. And so, they're just like, yeah, you didn't figure that out yet. You didn't figure out that we're killing you guys because you killed Richie and stuff like that. And this is like revenge. And yeah, and everything is just getting clown shittier and clown shittier. It's like the clown shit experience 6.0 at this point. In the background, we can just kind of see like Richie's home movies playing, and Bailey explains that he helped him build up this collection. He's like, yeah, I actually helped my son buy all this goddamn Scream memorabilia and shit like that so that he could make cool movies and become obsessed with this damn movie and stuff like that. So this whole like theater is a tribute to Bailey's son, Richie, Sam's ex-boyfriend. Anyway, so they're like, they're waiting to kill Sam until she puts on the Billy Loomis mask so that they can stage her next to Tara after they kill Tara. But it's just another one of those things. This is where like all the plot holes, all the dumb little shit moments where I cannot let them slide anymore because I hate this ending. They could obviously just kill them both and then put the mask on Sam.
What?
It's so fucking stupid. It's so fucking dumb. They act like they're like, put it on, Sam. You got to put it on. Oh, we want to kill you so bad, but we can't kill you until you put it on. And so they like have her at like knife and gunpoint. It's 3-on-2, and Sam and Tara have 0 weapons. Tara's been stabbed. Sam's been cut, but they're just at the worst disadvantage you can think of right now, basically, other than like being tied up, but they won't do anything because Sam won't put on the mask, and it's just so fucking stupid. I cannot get over this ending. But she does the Scream 2 thing where she talks shit to Bailey, or she talks shit about Richie to Bailey to distract him. You know how like Sydney does that to Billy Loomis's mom, and it gets her all fucking hot and bothered, and then she loses her focus. Anyway, yeah, Sam does that to Bailey with Richie, and he's just like, my son's not a gay little small dick loser. And then they beat up Quinn. Kirby shoots at them, and then she gets stabbed by Ethan in the same spot that she got stabbed in Scream 4. Sam runs over and just stabs the fuck out of Ethan while this is going on. And it's just one of those things where it's like, all right, so Ethan's dead now because she stabbed him like 5 times in the heart, it looks like. So he's dead, right? Isn't that how that works usually?
Hell yeah!
Her and Tara, they start to escape up to the balcony because there's an exit up there, an emergency exit. But Bailey shoots and Tara nearly falls off the balcony somehow. I don't even really understand how this happens while I'm watching it. It looks like she should be good. She should be good, but she's just like falls. Sam grabs onto her. They're doing that thing where, Tara's like hanging over the edge and Sam's trying to hang on, but they're all bloody at this point, so it's all slippery. Quinn starts coming after Sam, like she appears at the top of the thing and she's got blood coming out of her mouth and shit because she got hit in the face with a brick. So Sam is holding onto the knife that she stabbed Ethan with, and she's like, Tara's like, you gotta let me go. It's kind of like the thing from earlier. It's like touching back on that where she's like, you gotta let me live my own life, Sam. I'm in college now, bitch. I can do whatever I want. So Sam hands Tara the knife, and Ethan's down below her, just like, being stupid fucking clown Ethan. And he's just like, oh, come on down here, Tara. I sure would like to stab you with a knife. Just fucking saying the lamest shit you can imagine, and just throwing a fit down there, acting like a goddamn like a Labyrinth character, like those Labyrinth characters when they take their heads off and sing the songs about fire. He's basically doing his best impression of that shit. So Sam lets Tara drop down. She gets stabbed by Ethan, and then Tara takes the knife that she has and she stabs Ethan into the fucking mouth like the cover of Happy Birthday to Me, and she just like twists the knife around. So the knife's going through the back of his head, like through his spine. You know what I mean? So now that he's been stabbed in the heart and through the spinal column in the back of his neck, he's dead, right? Ethan's dead. Wrong again. Sam has the gun on Quinn and just shoots her right in the head. So apparently, according to Scream fans, this is the only way someone can die in a Scream franchise. You think I'm joking, but if you go onto any Scream fan sites or whatever, Scream fan club shits like on Facebook or whatever, they're like, well, actually, guys, so-and-so's not dead because, listen, dumbass, they didn't get shot in the head. Like, Stu's still alive because he didn't get shot in the fucking head. Jill's still alive because she didn't get shot in the head. And who else? There's like some other people that they're like, well, if you guys understood Scream movies and knew the rules, you would know that they're not dead because they didn't get shot in the fucking head. Even Mickey from Scream 2, he just got shot 100 times in the body, so he's not dead, right? That's how fucking shit works. God damn. It's just too frustrating to even like I'm just assuming these are all just people trolling, right? This can't be like anyone thinking that like, no, this is realistic and this would actually be really cool to do in the movie. Sorry, I'm getting fucking way off topic right now. Scream is just fucking me up. This ending just throws me into a damn rage every time I think about it. So, where were we at? Oh yeah, Quinn gets blasted in the head. She's officially dead. Detective Bailey, he is right behind Quinn on the balcony with Sam. Sam points the gun at him, shoots, but there's no bullets, so it just clicks. They run at each other screaming like a couple of dipshits and just like slam into each other. Even though Bailey has a loaded gun, he even shoots the gun as they crash into each other and start wrestling. He just like shoots the gun into the air. It's like, what is wrong with this guy? He's the fucking dumbest motherfucker. Oh my God. See what I mean? This ending is just absolute dog shit. Like, maybe if you just like shut your brain off completely and you're just going to full retard mode and you're like, yeah, that's pretty good, actually. It makes sense. Yeah. It makes sense that he wouldn't just fucking like shoot her in the leg, it's because she didn't have the mask on, probably. He's like, well, I can't kill her yet because she's not wearing a fucking Scream mask. She's got to put on the fucking Scream mask. So they wrestle, fall over the side of the balcony, and crash through a display case. Bailey wakes up, and no one is around. He gets a call from Sam Carpenter's phone, and it's the Ghostface voice. Sam's like, hey, motherfucker, you're in a scary movie now, so what's your favorite scary movie, dog? And she's like, you're in my movie, bitch. And he just keeps like blasting, like he's got like a spare gun in his boot, and he keeps just like wasting bullets by shooting these mannequins in the face while he's on the phone for some reason. And then all of a sudden, Sam pops up behind him in the Billy Ghostface outfit and just starts stabbing the fuck out of him, like all over his arms and legs and neck and stuff like that. So he's like half dead. He's like sitting there on his knees like, oh shit. And she's like, oh, you know, I'm going to kill you now. But then Tara kind of like stops Sam from killing him all the way. But then they kind of like give each other a look and like raise their eyebrows and shrug. And they're just like, nope, actually we are going to kill you, motherfucker. So she stabs him through the eyeball and he is dead. Wait, no, he's not, because he didn't get shot in the head. Maybe Bailey's the killer in Scream 7 and he just comes back with a big ass eye patch on. Oh yeah, dog. That's how they're going to do it. We get a little Red Right Hand playing as the credits roll on Richie's home movie in the background. I do like that touch, the Richie movie in the background and how you can hear it and stuff like that. Pretty cool. Sam and Tara have some final comforting words for each other. Oh yeah, Tara got, I did say this, I guess. Tara did, so she got stabbed twice. She got stabbed in, I think, the stomach when she killed Ethan, and then obviously in the back earlier, but she's just like fine for whatever reason. While they're talking, Ethan appears and starts running at the two sisters. He's just like fucking screaming his ass off some more. You know, it's his, you know, he's basically like narrowly escaped death twice now. And he decides the best choice for his, you know, for his survival would be to just like sprint, scream bloody murder while he's gushing blood out of his head and chest at the two women that have just like completely whooped his fucking ass this whole time. So the TV that killed Stumacher goes flying through the air and crushes his head. He's fucking dead. Kirby's just like, hell yeah, dude. I saw that in a movie one time. So hey, actually, guess what? Ethan and Bailey are not dead, according to Scream fans. We see Kirby getting brought out in a stretcher, and then Tara starts crying, and she's just like, it's because of Chad, you know. And then we hear in the background someone go, hey, we got another one over here. We got a live one. And then we see Chad being brought out on a stretcher, which, goddamn, shit's so dumb. That's what I mean. Just like nobody can die in this movie. And like right after this too, so we saw Mindy like get stabbed in the stomach really bad, you know. She just comes running up like nothing happened to her. She's literally running and she's just like, oh yeah, I'm on so much pain medicine right now, I can't even feel anything. And it's just like, you know what? Fuck that. That's not how that shit works at all, you stupid motherfuckers. She would be in the hospital. I'm, you know, fucking dumb as hell. Sam kind of gets lost for a second, just like thinking about shit, kind of looking at like the Billy Ghostface mask that she has in her hands. And Tara's like, Sam, are you coming? And she drops the mask on the ground and they walk off together. Danny joins them. And then we get the credits. And there's no post-credit scene, but that is Scream 6. So one of the interesting things going from this movie to Scream 7 is going to be that Sam and Tara are out of the movies. So Sam, I think she got like fired from when they were originally going to do the Scream 7 movie with Sam and Tara again. She got fired for posting like something. I haven't looked it up or anything. It was like a pro-Palestine tweet that I guess people took as anti-Semitic, and she got fired. I haven't looked at it. I think that's the stupidest fucking bullshit ever. I don't think she, you know, whatever she posted on there, it's just weird to think that she got fired for that. But after she got fired, you know, Jenna Ortega dropped out. I don't know. Didn't sound like it was fully to do with that, but I feel like that probably had something to do with it where she's like, yeah, fuck that. Why would Tara be back without Sam? You know what I mean? It would be kind of lame. But she also, I guess, had like Wednesday going on, and like I think there was some negotiation problems. But then that version of Scream 7 fell through altogether. They reached out to Nev. She was open to doing a Scream 7, so they got her back, and that's where we're at now. So it'll be interesting to see how and if this seventh sequel like even ties into Scream 6 at all. Like, are they going to just kind of, I wouldn't say like necessarily forget about that movie, because I think there is something that a lot of Scream fans seem to ignore, is that like after Scream 3, I feel like they kind of try to just forget about Scream 3. Like, you almost never hear about Roman Bridger after Scream 3, as far as I remember, other than in this movie when they find his mask and shit like that, and they're kind of like referring to each individual Ghostface, you know what I mean? But I feel like in Scream 4 and 5, I don't think they even really like acknowledge that. But I often, after one of these movies, they'll talk about like what happened in the previous one, or kind of acknowledge like the events that started things and stuff like that. And I feel like no one's like, Roman's the mastermind behind all of it. He's a fucking little Scream genius. Because I don't know. You know, Scream 3, it is what it is. It's a fun one. It feels too much like the Halloween 2 of the Scream franchise. And I like Halloween 2. I actually grew to like Scream 3 a lot more, but it has that thing where it's like, you didn't really need to make Michael Myers and Laurie Strode brother and sister. We don't need Sidney to have the shitty shithead half brother guy show up out of nowhere and like, I don't know. Roman's just such a fucking dorky ass character, in my opinion, to have him all of a sudden be like, I masterminded the whole thing. I convinced Billy and Stu to kill my mom and stuff like that. It's just kind of like, all right, that sucks. That's actually a sucky ass choice to make. Anyway, I guess my point is it'll be interesting to see what happens with Scream 7. I can't wait. We're going to find out at the end of this month. My episode for it is going to come out at the beginning of next month. It'll be the first episode next month, so everyone has some time to at least go and see it. I'll probably do some spoilers and shit like that. So next week, though, this is going to be really interesting. So next week, I'm getting some wisdom teeth out at the beginning of the week, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to record a new episode for the movie that I had planned. Originally, I was going to watch the movie Twixt. I don't know if anybody's seen the movie Twixt. I've only watched the preview for it maybe 3, 4, or 5 times because it looks hilarious. It's just, I think it had like Val Kilmer talking to some like goth chick in it, some like goth teenager in it or something like that. And it just looks like a funny movie. I've been wanting to watch it. I can't remember. It's like a Martin Scorsese movie or some shit like that, or I don't know. It's one of those like big directors, like kind of like off projects that I don't think went very well. So I'm really, really curious to check it out. But I don't think we'll be doing Twix next week. I am going to have an episode come out, though. I'm just not exactly sure what. It's either going to be like a freebie bonus episode, or it's going to maybe be a little side, like shorter Scream episode or something like that. But there will be an episode next week. I'm just not exactly sure what it is right now. So stay tuned next week for a little surprise episode. And unless I get my wisdom teeth out and I feel fine, or I just really go hardcore and do Kanye style where I do it between the wire or whatever the fuck that one thing's called, when he had the jaw surgery and still recorded the rap album or whatever, Kanye West. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. Good night.